7 in Visayas and 104 in Mindanao. So what's the business climate there now? Let's hear it straight from one of the biggest developers in the Vismin region, listed company, Cebu Land Masters, Joe Sabrano, now joins us. Good afternoon, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, Mimi.
Hi.
It's nice to see you and be able to talk to you.
Great to have you, sir. So is it business as usual in Vismin? I mean, some provinces, cities, and towns there have declared their own lockdowns or state of calamity. And if you look at your portfolio, you cover Mandaue, Cebu, Davao, Bacolod, Dumaguete, Iloilo, CDO, and Bohol. So is it business as usual for you?
Well, just like the rest of the country and the world, no, we are also affected, and we do have to make some adjustments, in businesses. So we strictly follow the guidelines that are being set by our local government units, on which we operate, and we try to manage our way, but always mindful of the risk that we are facing at hand. This health scare is really putting us in a corner, and we have to be very careful all the way, in everything that we do. So that's why this work from home things that we're doing, and the online communication and engagements we have to do with the public that we are engaging with has to continue very well. So we have to do some adjustments along the way to make sure that we can do things that we don't do as usual, but trying to make sure that we are still proceeding the best way we can.
Joe, very quickly, when you say adjustments, what exactly do you mean? Because I think you have around 52 projects in different stages of development in Vismin. I mean, has the lockdown stopped construction work? What kind of delays are you reasonably expecting from this?
Well, construction-wise, we must have about 60% still working on, because there are contractors, GenCons, that are able to secure permits. They exercise very important protocols following the guidelines of the city, for example. I have one general contractor, for example, Dakay Construction. From the project site that he works for us, there's about a bunkhouse, that he houses all his workers. And before the 8 o'clock curfew, these people go back there, and they are made sure that they are taken care of. But work continues for them, still making sure that the social distancing and the health situation are really controlled. They have nurses on site. Their safety officers are there to make sure that the protocol that are instituted, not just by the city where they operate, but also as a company, is exercised at the best diligence possible. So we're about 60%, but this will still delay us, definitely.
By how many months? By how long?
This has started for about 2 months, and if this will continue to prolong, it will drag us for another delay for another 3rd month. So, but it doesn't mean that when things normalize, we will just have to look at that backlog or that delay. We have to institute some catch-up programs. That is something that's normal for the developers to do. So definitely, when things normalize, we will have to go back to our drawing board and ask ourselves, how do we catch up?
Okay.
And we are still going to be mindful of the deadlines that we are facing.
So, Joe, I know that Cebu Land Masters, you don't really depend on POGOs, but you do rely on strong OFW remittances and BPOs to drive demand for your spaces. Remittances are expected to take a hit this year, as the pandemic hits the global economy? Do you think this is going to dampen demand for your projects?
Well, we see a temporary slowdown. There's no question about that. We have already heard of OFWs going back home because jobs abroad have dwindled, no? Or that was the advice of their employers. But when things normalize, they have to be brought back again. And we do know for a fact that when things are difficult, especially for developed countries, they will have to make sure their operating costs are put on check. And this would mean that outsourcing will still be a very strong possibility and will help our BPO sector. Mm-hmm. And of course, putting back workers or OFWs in their work environment abroad is also a necessity that will happen eventually for many of these economies. Mm-hmm. Now, just to tell you a situation, we have an operating hotel in Citadin, Cebu City, mm-hmm. and we have about 120 rooms that are fully occupied, booked 100%. I'm referring to a BPO company, Accenture, who still will have to put a skeletal force in their companies. No, they are operating in IT Park and Cebu Business Park. So they booked for us up to end of March, and because of the situation that could be possibly prolonged, they have extended the booking all the way up to May, end of May. Mm-hmm. So these are situations that is going to come. You try to take advantage of the situation that is made available. No matter how small they may be, how insignificant they may be, no, but this could give well and contribute to a certain extent to our economy. Like our workers who would rather have something to work on rather than be idle and be doing certain things in their homes. These are things very welcome. And I'm sure a lot of the developers here in Bismin are exactly doing that.
Joe, final question. Let's talk about the bottom line. Cebulan Masters posted a record 1.6 billion pesos in net income. In the first 9 months of last year, 2019, that was up 77%. I guess the question is, did you hit the target of 2.6 billion for last year? And is 2020 already a done deal? Is it going to be less stellar than 2019?
Well, coincidentally, we just had our special board meeting. We did have a teleconferencing among our directors to basically approve our audited financial statements of 2019, which, by the way, we would be able to file and pay our annual tax by April 14. No? And what will be presented is the result of the parent company. From 1.6, we did something over 2 billion pesos, which is a pretty good performance for 2019 compared to the previous year.
And it's 2020.
So that particular guidance target was definitely attained for us as far as the parent company Cebulan Masters is concerned.
Final question, yes or no, sir? Is 2020 going to be less stellar than 2019? Yes or no?
No, with the situation at hand, we know the first quarter was affected by February and March. There was a slowdown there. Definitely the second quarter will have another dire impact on our numbers, not just for us, but practically across the board. No, but we will have to see when things normalize. Definitely the third and fourth quarter will be very critical for us. How we would be able to recover as fast as we can. No, would that be enough to cover the slowdown of the first and second quarter? But definitely, we would be very confident moving forward when things normalize. As just in anything, when there are difficulties today, there will always be recoveries that will follow suit. No, and we should be very confident about that.
And on that note, thank you very much, Joe, for joining us this afternoon. Keep well, sir. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Remy.